Here is part 3, how to make eyes. I make very simple eyes on these small projects. And of course you can use whatever color you want. If you want it more dragony, reptile-like, you could have yellow eye whites instead, but I usually go for white. So take a small part of whatever color you want. Make sure that the fibers aren't too coarse, because then it will be bushy and a bit difficult to get it smooth. And you need the head firm enough to take the eye. So when you push it, it should not sink down. So you need to work on the head. The body you can finish later, since we're going to make spine and wings, but the head has to be firm to make the eyes. So here is what I do. I take the wool and divide it in two and roll into two balls, and then I can check if it's too big, too much wool. I think this will be okay. When I attach the eyeballs, I use a 38 triangle and choose where, if you want, you can mark where you want the eyes first, or you can just put it there. The coarser the needle, the bigger is the circle that gets pulled into the surface. So that's why I only make a few pokes with a 38, because if I do it too much, then all this would just disappear into the project. So I do a couple, and then I change to a 40 or 42 triangle. Now I have a 42. And what you can do is that you can sort of make a little twist in the air. Don't drag it along the surface, because then you can break the needle, but you can make a few circles in the air, twist it, and then secure it. And as you see, I have my wrist firmly secure rest here, because I want to work with my wrist, not with my elbow, not with my shoulder. And I make very light, careful pokes. The 42 triangle has its barbs right at the tip, which makes it easy to do this very shallow movements. So swipe up the fibers that want to elope, and make shallow, light pokes. If you feel that one eye is getting bigger than the other, or if they are not in the shape that you want them, you can have, of course, any shape you want. It could be cool to have this like of ellipse, like reptile eyes. But this round eye is my signature eye for my simple projects, so therefore I will keep with that. But if you want to change the shape, you could also put the needle and felt on this direction very carefully. What you need to keep in mind is that you have to have the same direction when you push in the needle as when you pull it out, so that you don't like push it in and then change direction, because that's how you break needles, even high quality needles. You could always, if you do break needles, then you can keep them. This is a broken needle, and those needles you can use to move the wool around, to poke, to drag, to change the shape. So it's really good to keep the broken needles for these kind of things. Also, like on this black pupils, if I want to change the position, I could just move them with a broken arrow a bit. So don't throw away the broken needles. They are good tools. To make a good eye, then spend a little time on attaching it on the surface so that it lies smooth. You can even make a little pit or a little hole with a needle and then fill it with a round little ball to get this sort of get more depth into it. But these dragons are so small, so I prefer to keep them simple. Up, you see there I got a little pink from or reddish from this, and then I can use the broken needle to sort of get it out. You could get a tweezer as well, but this is good for that too. So make a firm eye. I used to work simultaneously, a little on one eye, a little on the other one. And this eye seems to be a little smaller, but I had a little less wool in this one, so that I can make the other one smaller by poking it from the side very carefully, and thus make it a little smaller. You see, I am very careful in my movements when I shape this, because now we're into details. When you work like on the body, then of course you can be more sort of aggressive, not so planned, but now when you're into details, then it's these careful pokes. To get them smooth and even, because if they are not firmly felted, then you can't attach the pupil. Yep, one eye is definitely smaller than the other. And of course, that's okay. You could have one eye smaller, but then I think you should make the difference so big that it looks like you did it on purpose. It could be a cool effect, but I don't want that. I want them to be equal. So therefore, I felt from the side like this to make it smaller. If you are really not happy with these eyes, then you can either take a tweezer and pull them out, which is kind of dramatic really, but you can also take the color of the face, cover it, and start over, paint over. And now for the pupils, I take some black also. That this is even more important, that you don't have too coarse fibers that will stick out. You could take a sharp scissor and cut them off, of course, but it's better to have, like MC1 is perfect for this if you have living felt. So you see, I don't have much at all, but when you divide it and you roll them between your fingers like this, then you can see that it's actually is a little, it's more than you think it is. And now you have to decide where and how is it going to look. Should it be like this, like you look upwards, or should it be like this one, that you sort of look on your nose, or you can have it as the black one. So you can place them on different places on the eyes and kind of feel, where should it be? I think this one should look towards the side. And now the 38 is too coarse, so if you have a 40, then it's fine. I continue with a 42. And be very careful when you attach this, because as I said, if you have a too coarse needle, then this little dot would just whoop, go right through the eye and disappear. And what you do then is that you just take a new little black ball. And here too, I just attach. I don't finish one eye before I start on the next, because I want to do it a little at a time. You see, I'm very careful, just a few pokes, swipe up the fibers a little. It's just these tiny, tiny, tiny movements with your hand. It's a good exercise if you want to make more detailed sculptures later. So it's a good exercise to work with the tiny things. And also here, if you want to move the pupils a bit, you can take a broken needle and work with that. If you want to give the eyes a little bit more life, then you can take just the tiniest amount of white and put in this pupil to get this little shimmer of light. I don't do it for my simple sculptures, but I always do it when I make dolls and more advanced sculptures, because that will bring the eye really alive. I have one here that I can show you. Sorry, this magician. If you can see his eyes, there's a little white dot here, and he looks so much alive. But I think for this, there's a kind of charm in the simplicity as well, where you don't try too much. I think this is rather cute. If you want to make more depth in the eye, you could make eyelids, and that's also a way to give this dragon expressions. So you can take the color that you had on your face, or another color, of course, if you want to, and fold it a little and see if you want to make it sleepy. Then you could cover a bit of the eye. If you want to make him anxious, you do like this. You want to make him look fierce, you can make that expression. That makes him look really fierce, I think. But you can also keep them just like this. Like here I put some eyebrows or eyelids on, but the thing is that this is my signature eye for my sculptures. This is how I do eyes on like even this little bigger priest. There's just the white, and then there's a pupil. So even if this is kind of cool, it's not me. And what I do then is just I tear it off, and this is my expression. But the dragons you are making, they're your dragons, so you can do whatever feels right for you. So this was the eyes. Stay tuned for the wings next time.